There is a story from Paris that sounds impossible at first. A man once sold the Eiffel Tower, not a hidden treasure, not a secret document, not a stolen painting. The Eiffel Tower, a giant iron monument, standing in the middle of Paris, seen by thousands of people every single day. And yet, Victor Lustig found a way to sell it. He did not move it. He did not hide it. He did not even need to touch it. All he needed was confidence. A believable lie and the right victim. In 1925, Paris did not see the Eiffel Tower the same way the world sees it today. Today, it is one of the most famous symbols on Earth, but when it was built for the 1889 World's Fair, many people hated it. Some called it ugly, some thought it ruined the Paris skyline, and originally, it was not even meant to stand forever. By the 1920s, the tower had become expensive. To maintain, it needed repairs, it needed paint, it needed constant care. Thousands of tons of iron were standing in the heart of the city, and keeping that iron alive cost money. Newspapers wrote about the problem. Most people read those reports and moved on. Victor Lustig read them and saw an opportunity. He understood something dangerous about human nature. People do not always fall for small lies. Sometimes they fall for the biggest lie in the room because it feels too bold to be fake. Lustig was not a noisy criminal. He was calm, elegant, well-dressed. He spoke like a man who belonged in expensive hotels and government offices. That was his real weapon, not force, not violence, but trust. He prepared fake official documents. Then he presented himself as a high-ranking representative of the French government. After that, he contacted several scrap metal dealers in Paris. The message was serious. The meeting was private, and the matter was extremely confidential. When the businessmen arrived, Lustig told them the government had made a difficult decision. The Eiffel Tower would be dismantled. The reason was simple. It was too expensive to maintain. But the decision could not be announced publicly. If the people of Paris heard about it too early, there would be outrage. So the sale had to be handled quietly. Only a few selected businessmen were being given the chance to bid. For the iron, it sounded strange, but not completely impossible, and that was the power of the lie. At that time, not everyone loved the Eiffel Tower. Some still saw it as a temporary structure, a giant metal frame that had stayed longer than expected. So when Lustig said the government wanted to remove it, the idea did not sound insane. It sounded secret, and secrets make people greedy. One man showed more interest than the others. His name was André Poisson. He was a scrap metal dealer who wanted to become more respected among the powerful businessmen of Paris. For him, buying the Eiffel Tower as scrap metal would not just mean profit. It would mean status. It would mean influence. It would prove that he belonged among the biggest players. Victor Lustig noticed this, and once he understood Poisson's weakness, he moved closer. He met him privately. Then Lustig added one more detail to the story. He claimed that government officials were not paid well. He hinted that if Poisson wanted the deal to move smoothly, an extra payment would help. In other words, he asked for a bribe. This was the most clever part of the trap, because once Poisson paid the bribe, he would be afraid to go to the police. If he reported the crime, he would also have to admit that he had tried to bribe a government official. Poisson was trapped. Before he even understood what had happened, he paid for the Eiffel Tower. He also paid the bribe. Then Victor Lustig took the money and left Paris. He escaped to Austria and waited. He watched the newspapers carefully. If the story became public, Paris would explode with scandal. A man had sold the Eiffel Tower. A businessman had paid for it. The government had been impersonated. It would have been everywhere, but nothing happened. No headlines, no police announcement, no public embarrassment, and that told Lustig. One thing, Poisson had stayed silent. He was too ashamed, too afraid, too worried about his reputation, so the crime disappeared because the victim did not want anyone to know he had been fooled. For most criminals, that would have been enough. But Victor Lustig was not finished. If the trick worked once, he believed it could work again. So he returned to Paris. He prepared. The same kind of story, the same secret meetings, the same fake government identity, the same promise that the Eiffel Tower was about to be sold for scrap. But the second time, the lie did not survive as easily. One of the dealers became suspicious. This time, the matter reached the police. Lustig understood the danger quickly, and before he could be arrested, he fled France. Later, he continued his criminal life in America. He used false names. He ran other scams. He became involved in counterfeit money. Eventually, he was captured and sent to prison. But history remembers him for one unbelievable act. Victor Lustig, the man who sold the Eiffel Tower. What makes this story so powerful is not only the size of the scam, it is how simple it was. Lustig did not steal the tower. He did not remove a single beam of iron. He did not need darkness or explosives or a secret army of workers. He stole something else. Belief. He understood greed. He understood ambition. He understood how badly some people want a private opportunity. Before anyone else gets it, the Eiffel Tower never moved. It remained exactly where it was, standing above Paris while one man used it to make himself rich. Sometimes the greatest thefts in history do not happen when something disappears. They happen when someone convinces you that you are seeing an opportunity no one else can see. Victor Lustig did not take the Eiffel Tower. He sold a dream wrapped in secrecy and walked away with the money.